So I'm eating a bowl of popcorn the other night. I was sitting down watching a movie with my girlfriend, and this movie's intense. Big climax, twists, turns. It's an emotional roller coaster. She's in the corner. She's got tears in her eyes. I'm welling up. It's a really intense movie. But then I started thinking, because we're having friends come over for dinner the next night, what am I going to make for dessert? And then I look down, and I'm eating a bowl of popcorn. Then I think to myself, what about popcorn creme brulee? And then I was like, what about caramel popcorn creme brulee? And then I jumped up, immediately pressed pause on Despicable Me 2 and got into the kitchen. So, caramel popcorn creme brulee. First things first, I need to make some caramel. If you've never made caramel before, it's dead easy. It's 3 things: a little bit of sugar, water, and butter. So start with some nice clean sugar, and here's a great tip. You need a clean pot. Make sure your pot is really nice and clean, because any impurities in the sugar or the pot kind of disrupts the process of the caramel. And then just a little shot of water. That's it. And then you want to let the water evaporate, and when you see that sugar cooking down and it gets that amber color, then you can add a bit of butter. Awesome. Okay, so when the caramel is really nice and brown like that, that's pretty sticky, but I like to add just a little shot of butter, and this is really cool. It's gonna bubble up, but just embrace the bubbles, and it gets really nice and foamy like that. It's really delicious. It's gonna foam up because the butter's trying to cool it down, but just keep swishing it, and you'll see that nice, beautiful glaze of caramel, and boy, does that smell delicious. But be careful, because this is like hot magma glue. If you get this on your hand, you're gonna be screaming. So be careful, be gentle. See, when the caramel's like that, you wanna keep it nice and warm, and it's perfect time to pour it on some popcorn. You excited? I know, me too. So you can do this a couple ways. One, you can pour the caramel over the popcorn, but I'm gonna use it in the creme brulee, so this is what I like to do. Just get some parchment paper or a nice non-stick surface, and then take the caramel and just pour it lightly over the popcorn. And it's great, if some of the caramel hits the bottom, you want that, because when it goes into the milk to flavor the popcorn, it's just delicious. Oh, it's so good. And then I like to play around with my food, and I like a good balance of sweet and salt. So if you just take the caramel popcorn and then just shoot a little bit of salt on it, that's delicious. So you get the popcorn flavor, and then you get sweet and salty, and you put it in the creme brulee. Now you can go back to your movie. I love the Despicables. All right, so once you give it a chance to cool, just bash it up and get it in a bowl, and see the caramel that hits the bottom of the pan. That's delicious. That's super flavorful, full of crunchy deliciousness. All right, so to build the flavor of the creme brulee, now that the caramel popcorn is done, you need a lot of heavy cream. And this is where you're really gonna get the flavor in from the caramel popcorn. So I'm gonna garnish with a bit, and this seems crazy, but put the caramel popcorn right into the cream. This is great. Okay, so get it into the cream, and then let it steep. You don't want to boil the cream, you just want to get it nice and hot, and it's gonna drink up all of the flavor of the salted caramel popcorn. That's gonna be crazy. All right, so while that heats up, the second part is you need it to be really nice and sweet. So a nice big shot of sugar, and then you need some egg yolks. The egg yolks give the creme brulee like a really luxurious creamy custard, so you just want the yolks. This is how I like to crack an egg. On a flat surface, break it up in 2, and then the eggshells act like little cups, and you can get the yolk out, and the yolk can go right into the sugar. All right, just a few left to do. All right, so this is when you get to bring the two together. So you have the egg yolks and the sugar. Egg yolks make it really nice and silky and sexy. Sugar gives it sweetness. And now for the caramel popcorn cream. And it's got such a gorgeous color to it. And it's really steeped in that flavor. Okay, and it's really nice and hot. So here's a good tip. You just wanna add a little bit at a time. You don't wanna cook the eggs in there. So get a splash of that really seasoned cream in there, mix it up. And I like to strain out the popcorn because I don't like a chunky creme brulee. I like it when it's nice and smooth. Sweet, just a little bit, and then you can go in with the rest. Awesome. And the popcorn does such a good job of flavoring it. You can smell it already. It's incredible. Okay, so to fill up the little cups, I like to put it in a measuring glass or something with a spout on it. It makes it really nice and easy. And then you just want to fill the cups up. So here's a good thing. You want to cook it in a water bath. The water bath really helps steam the creme brulee. And so you just put a little bit in. You know, sometimes you make something that just makes you laugh. This is one of those moments. Caramel popcorn creme brulee. It's a heartbreaker, baby. You don't want to go too full to the top because you want to save room for sugar at the end. Okay, sweet. All right, so there's bubbles on the top and you want a nice, clear, clean surface for the sugar. So I take a blowtorch or a little barbecue lighter and then you can just blow the bubbles off slightly. And it helps it cook. And then at the end, you want that really nice, smooth surface so when you brulee it with sugar, it's ready for it. It's accepting. I want the sugar, bring on the sugar. Okay, so just fill it up with a little bit of water. That's gonna help cook it. This is a little bit fancy, but it's called a bain-marie. It's basically just like a French steamer. Okay, now after all of that work, all you have left to do is cover it, put it in the oven at about 325 and check it every 20 minutes. Well, check it on the first 20 minutes. And then every 5 minutes after that, just give it a little shake and you want it just to move slightly and you know it's done and let it cool. All right, good luck, buddy. Be careful. We're making popcorn creme brulee because it's delicious. And I'm gonna have some friends over and we're all gonna eat it because it's yummy. So when the caramel popcorn creme brulee comes out, just cool it. You can put sugar on it a couple ways. One, if you have a blowtorch, just put some sugar on there. Two, you can put the sugar on there and broil it, but this is my favorite way to do it. So the same way I made the caramel before for the popcorn, I just made that again, but be careful because it's very hot. And if you just pour a little bit onto the creme brulee and move it around like that, you get a nice, crispy, cracking crust. But be careful because this stuff is really hot and you want to go slow with it. Not too much, not too little, just the right amount. Ooh, that's a great sound. And just swish it around, swish it around. Ooh, it likes to harden pretty quickly. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Check that out. Like I said, if you don't have a blowtorch, or you don't like putting it in the oven because you get scared, that is a great way to get a great cracking crust on the creme brulee. And that's the best part when you like, and then you get to go into that popcorn caramel custard. Delicious. And this is such a great dessert. The creme brulee is awesome because the crunchy, crispy crust on top is really nice and warm, and then it warms up a little bit of that custard, but the rest of it's ice cold. That's what I love about it, the texture of it, and it's kind of warm and kind of cool. And then just to garnish it in and around, a little bit of caramel popcorn. Why not? It looks delicious. And this is a great dessert if you've got friends coming over because you can make it ahead of time. It'll last in the fridge for a couple days. And you just bring it out, warm up some caramel, put it on the top, and you're laughing. And trust me, it's one of those flavors when you eat it, you'll just start to giggle. You'll be like, what? Caramel popcorn creme brulee? Check that out. That's really cool. So good. Tons of crunch, tons of flavor, and tons of fun. That's what I love about this one. So there's a ritual when I eat creme brulee, and I think anyone who likes creme brulee loves this part, and it's the cracking of the sugar. So if you'll all rise for the national anthem. Right? That's the best part. When you crack the sugar, and then you get to dig into the custard, and that's what's so fun about a creme brulee. You get that crunchy sugar on top, and the custard texture with the flavor of the caramel popcorn. If that doesn't blow your hair off, I don't know what will. You hear it? It's so delicious. I love the texture of the creme brulee, and it just smells and tastes like caramel popcorn. Honestly, when you take the cream and just throw in some caramel popcorn, it takes on so much of the flavor. And hey, if you're too busy to make the caramel popcorn, just come here for a second. Just go buy it, and then you can do the rest at home. This is delicious. Okay. I have a cartoon to finish. It's the Minions! Yeah!